The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. This week on the show, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? From the outrageously aggressive marketing campaign, I wouldn't be surprised if the dude was at your house right now in an apron and oven mitts. That's right, we're talking Dwayne J's story of Adam and Evil. I'm Reegs.
I'm Addy.
And this is the Film Addicts podcast. Hey folks, welcome back to the Film Addicts podcast. I'm here with Addy. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I've been trying to redeem my username, Film Addicts, so we get into that when we're doing What Are We Watching, but how are you?
I'm good. I've been busy. I was in Sydney or New South Wales working this week, and that was a lot. There's a lot of stuff to do there, but it was super fun, and I'm glad to be back. So I might not have as much what were we watching as you, but that's okay. That's totally cool. We're here to talk about Black Adam predominantly, and you loved it. I'm sort of okay with it, and not 100% on it, not 50% on it. I'm somewhere in the middle. It was totally fine. But absolutely, before we get into that, do we do what are we watching, or are we doing nerd news first?
Well, let's do What Are We Watching first.
Okay. What are we
watching?
Hey, the timing was really good on that one. All right.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, then you start this because I've got one thing to talk about. So what have you been watching?
So anyone who doesn't know, which is fucking weird for me to say because this is called the Film Addicts podcast.
All right. Someone's watching it right and go, oh yeah, it fucking is too.
Yeah. Our previous episode, we had lovely Leanne on our show.
We did. Super fun episode.
And she watched about 50 movies the last month in October.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a deal with her that I'm going to break her record in 1 month.
Wait, hang on a second. 50 movies in a month?
Yeah. And then you said,
almost two a day.
Yeah. Dude, this is exactly what you said.
Is it? Okay. Need to re-listen to that podcast.
Yeah.
So you beat her record? You did more than 50?
Not yet, but I think I might. Because
well, you still got a few days.
Yeah, I do. But she didn't say anything about the episodes that she watched, so I watched 32 films and 88 episodes of television in 24 days.
88 episodes of television? Yep. Is that just normal people?
No. So,
8 times?
So this is without the normal people rewatch.
Right. Okay, that doesn't count. All right, fair enough. All right. Well, maybe you won't get to all of them, but run through. What did you watch?
Oh boy, so much. But I was Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh yeah, what's the 411 on that piece of shit? That's a bit harsh. I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment. I just was being coarse.
It's, and I'm not saying that because of Harry Styles, but Harry Styles is a part of it. He's part of the movie, but this is Florence Pugh's movie, and I think this might be my favorite one of the year.
Your favorite movie of the year? Get out of town! Fucking hell! Olivia Wilde's phone just blew up. They're talking about you, babe. Seriously, she's. Oh, I might win that Oscar that I was thinking about.
Oh, fucking Oscar, dude! They didn't even release it here because of the fucking controversy. I hate that.
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
Yeah. So and Everything Everywhere All at Once was my number one, and this one took it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But here's how I fucked up, right? So I was like, I want to watch something fun because this was me after 23 movies. I was like, I want to watch something fun, something relaxing. So I watched Trainspotting.
for a fun, relaxing time.
Right, because I had no fucking idea what
Fucking
it
high?
was.
What are you talking about? It's about as fun and relaxing as fucking shaving your taint.
I've no idea what that means.
It's the little piece of skin between breakfast and lunch.
I'm not gonna ask what that is.
Between genitals and anus.
Yeah, okay.
And I would wager it's hard to shave.
Yeah.
All this because you brought up Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah. So I was Trainspotting. I was having fun, and then it wasn't fun when the baby died, and then it was all downhill from that.
Spoilers? Fuck. No, I'm joking. It's like movie's 25 years old. Okay. So Trainspotting, Don't Worry, Darling. Anything else on the top of the list there?
Yeah. So I wanted to relax again because Trainspotting was a lot. So I binged the whole of Fleabag, and that wasn't good for my mental health anyway.
Yeah, now you're talking. But that's some good. I mean, I can't comment on Don't Worry, Darling, but Trainspotting is a decent enough movie. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's well made at least. Fleabag is the shit. That is one of the best TV shows of all time. Like, just the opening scene, you know, and the contemplativeness, and the, I don't know, a voice you haven't heard before, like the questions that a woman might ask herself that they only ask themselves. You know, it's so interesting and yeah, so beautifully written and beautifully performed.
Yeah.
Phoebe's the best, man.
She's amazing. And a friend of mine told me to watch it like a long time ago, and I didn't watch it. And then I watched it, and I'm not kidding when I say she's probably the only protagonist in all of fiction that I've ever related to so much.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, not the whole sex part, but
whatever. Fill your boots, mate.
yeah, but like just the amount of like, just how much she wants to say, but she doesn't. But she looks at like the audience.
Yeah, it's in place of internal monologue, like internal dialogue rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's breaking the fourth wall is a really particular thing that you can't do well. You know, there's not a lot of opportunity to do that within story structure as it is, and when it's done poorly, it's done poorly. But then sometimes this is a joke for only Australians. There was a TV show called Pugwall's Summer, and the protagonist was a high school student who was in a band called the Orange Organics, and he would constantly turn to the camera and talk to the camera. And I know that guy. I know the actor who played that character. But that, you know, it works in that. Like, for some reason, it just kind of it gelled really well. But then other times, it's can be fucking obnoxious.
Yeah. And it's the, like, I know, like, a Fleabag was a play, a one-woman show play, and then it was made into a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, after watching the show, I really wanted to watch the play. And it's not that case with me that often.
No. I think it's available. Like, if you've got... There's some streaming service that's on, mate, perhaps, for theatre stuff. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, I would recommend you do that as well. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm missing talking about this show for a long time. So I'm gonna say it because I got into like actual anime again. Or not again, just for the first time.
Sure.
And something not a lot of people know about me is when I was in school, I played volleyball fucking hell, from middle school to second year of high school.
Okay.
And
did you do it naked, half naked on a beach with Tom Cruise?
I'm not The Rock.
He wasn't in Top Gun. What are you talking about? It's a sexy scene. Sorry, keep going. You played volleyball.
Yeah. And a very close friend of mine who I met on Instagram as well, he's a really big anime guy. For the lack of a better word, anime guy.
Okay.
So he told me to watch this series called Haiku, which is about a high school volleyball team. And I binged the first 2 seasons, and then like season 3 is just one match. And then,
Wow, really?
yeah, it's only 10 episodes, but it's one match, and it's really cool. And then it only has 4 seasons. And then I finished it with season 4, and it's like I resonated with it so much because it's so well written. Like each character, you feel for them, and like the main character is goofy and fucking amazing, but like he's also that kind of person when you're in like such a stressful moment, he won't give a fuck. He's just gonna be himself. Mm-hmm. And it's his story about growing and how people like in the team see him grow and then get motivated to grow. And they go all the way to the nationals, and it fucking made me cry, man. Like I was crying in the last 2 episodes. I'm like, oh man, this is amazing.
Can I just ask, it's called Haiku, did you say?
Yep.
Does it have anything to do with poetry?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I wonder why they call it, because that's the Japanese poetry. Like, was it 7 syllables, 5 syllables, 7 syllables? Is the format for a haiku?
I don't know.
It's okay. No, that's the case. I just don't know what it has to do with playing volleyball. That's all.
Yeah.
Probably fucking nothing. If I know anything about anime, especially the more recent stuff, the titles mean nothing compared to, well, not mean nothing, but the titles are disparate and unusual unless you're really in it and you understand it. Like Full Metal Alchemist out loud sounds like a fucking heavy metal band.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something else. Or Ghost in the Shell. Or Gunsmith Cats. Like, what does that mean? It's an agency. But anyway, was there anything else really cool?
Something cool that's actually going on right now is Chainsaw Man. Please watch that.
Oh, yeah, I was talking to someone about that the other day, and they were talking, and apparently there's a dog in it with a chainsaw head.
Oh god, yeah.
What happened to Ben 10? Remember Ben 10?
I've been watching Ben 10 as well.
All he did was be like, hey, call on an alien or a monster or whatever the fuck it is, and punch, punch, punch. Now there's people with dogs with chainsaws for heads. I feel old.
Like, dude, I saw this comment the other day, and like MAPPA, which is the company that's doing the animation for Chainsaw Man, it's all hand drawn, by the way. There's no CG.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's so well done that people are like comparing it to CG, so they had to come out with the statement saying that no, it's not CG. We didn't use any CG. It's just hand drawn. We're just that fucking good.
Seems like everybody's got an opinion this week. Fuck. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Some nerd news. And anything else? I mean, you watched 400 things, so it's hard to go through them all. But
yeah, that's all. I kind of watched Amsterdam sleeping.
What do you mean you kind of watched it?
I was sleeping.
That's totally fine. You can fall asleep during Amsterdam because it's hard to follow anything in that picture.
Yes.
Just looking at pretty people, and that was all it. I couldn't tell you what the story of that film is. Like, if you asked me, I wouldn't have been able to tell you the second I walked out of the fucking cinema. I wouldn't have been able to tell you. What was that about? Christian Bale was in. It was an eyeball, and doctors. Margot Robbie. 40s. Caper. Like, that would have been all I'd be able to say. I would have had Tourette's. I would have had story Tourette's for a minute. But so what am I watching? As I said, I've been away working, so not a lot. But I started the Jack Ryan series on Amazon Prime with John Krasinski because I needed something simple and procedural, and I like exposition. It's one of my favorite things in TV and movies where they're working things out and they've got, oh, this is going to happen here, and blah, 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 and solving the crimes, and then every episode ends with a big dust up of some sort and then a huge cliffhanger. And so I just felt like that, and I've really gotten into it. Like, I smashed the first season in just a couple of days. Like, they're only 8 episodes, but he's really charismatic. He's great at the emotional stuff. Like, Jack Ryan's not a traditionally emotional person. Well, I mean, I guess he kind of is. I haven't read the books. I'm just talking about the movies that they made with Harrison Ford and Ben Affleck, and I think Alec Baldwin played him in Hunt for Red October, and Chris Pine was in it as well. Like, he played Jack Ryan in Shadow Recruit, which is like a prequel kind of thing. I like that character. He's he's a super smart guy who's used to be in the military, but he's just a normal dude. He's not Jason Bourne. He's not James Bond. He's just this person who you can relate to and understand, his loss and his pain and his feeling. So yeah, I'm really digging that show. I'm going to finish up the second season this week, and third season starts soon, where he's on the run. So yeah, I'm excited about it. Jack Ryan TV series on Amazon Prime. Check it out. They are not a sponsor. Jeffrey Bezos. Inside fucking rules.
I was going to do that.
I drove to Sydney, which is a 9-hour drive, to do this job, and just because I had all my gear with me, and it seemed, considering the cost of flights at the moment, it was more cost effective to do that. And I listened to heaps of podcasts and heaps of music, but I listened to Inside the Bo Burnham album a few times, singing along. Rules. Check out Inside Bo Burnham on Netflix. They're not a sponsor. Shall we get into some nerd news?
We should, but before that, you watched Jack Ryan. I think you might like Reacher as well.
Yeah, I've seen Reacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So shut up. No, okay. I do like it. That actor is great, but he's not John Krasinski. He doesn't have the emotional kind of range. He's just a big. That show is basically, Kevin Smith said, it's basically Batman without the costume. He's just going around whooping people's asses. This blonde, beautiful creature. But yeah, I do dig Reacher. That's kind of very much the same vein. Yeah. So let's get into nerd news. Here's Johnny's theme song. Okay, so there's a bunch of nerd news. There's one particular thing that I want to talk about because it's becoming frustratingly common, and we'll get into it. But a couple of really cool things that I wanted to hit on first are the sequel to the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. That was terrible, Reed.
Sequel to Into the Spider-Verse called Across the Spider-Verse.
Thank you very much. It will have 6 definitive animation styles, which is really cool. The first one obviously kind of had the different characters represented by different animation styles, but this one looks like it's going to be going into those worlds and showing you all these different animation styles, which is great. Really good decision on their part. You're fucking super excited for that, aren't you?
I am. So if anyone hasn't watched the Mitchells versus the Machines, watch that, because the reason why they pushed that is because they learned a lot of stuff in Mitchells versus Machines, and they want to implement that.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that is a really good picture. I didn't watch that until Oscar season, and it was nominated for Best Animated Film, and it was my favorite of that year. This one I just found out today. Jensen Ackles was reportedly almost cast as Deadpool over Ryan Reynolds back in 2016. He had an appearance on a radio show recently, and he said, there was definitely a movie I was very much in talks about. I wasn't available, so the train kind of stopped there. But had I been available, I would have done it. Jumped through all the studio hoops and all that stuff. And then they asked him, I think, what was it? And he said, Deadpool. It's probably a good thing because my ex-girlfriend was on there, so it would have been really awkward. So probably worked out for the best. I don't know who he's talking about. Maybe he dated Marina Baccarat. What's her name?
I have no idea.
From Deadpool? Not Marina. I'm thinking Marina Pryor. Hang on. I'm going to have to look her up.
Hey! Maybe he dated Ryan Reynolds. What's to say? No, I'm sorry. Yeah. He said ex-girlfriend. I'm sorry.
That's pretty funny, though. Marina Baccarat, who plays the love interest in Deadpool. Maybe he's talking about her. But yeah, Jensen Ackles as Deadpool. I'd buy that. He's fucking hilarious in Supernatural.
I haven't seen Supernatural, so like my only intake of Jensen Ackles has been either fuck, was he Batman? He was Batman in like some of the films, right?
He did the voice of Batman in Long Halloween that they recently did, but he was also the voice of Jason Todd in Under the Red Hood, and the amazing vocal performance that still sticks out in my head. But he played, of course he was in The Boys, Soldier Boy.
Yeah, so I know the article that you're referencing because I saw it too, and I got really scared when I saw it because I saw Jensen Ackles reported and dead. I didn't read the whole thing, and I was like, "Oh fuck me!"
That would be a harsh day. A harsh day. Oh, that's something we're probably going to have to address as well.
Yeah,
we'll get to that in a second. Not that Jensen Ackles is dead; that someone else is dead. Yeah. Welcome to Dead, the podcast. This one is funny. Indiana Jones 5. Which is currently being shot, is going to be set in 1969. It's about the Nazi space race, and they're going to de-age Harrison Ford 45 years to do flashbacks. De-aging digitally.
For the opening, right?
Yeah, which I just think I wish they would stop doing, because the human eye is so attuned to actual human facial structure and the way that we emote through our face, you can never breach the uncanny valley. It's always going to look fake. I can't get on board with it. Just leave it alone. Just maybe don't write flashbacks. But then again, I don't run a huge Hollywood studio. Or am Harrison Ford.
Yeah. I mean, Harrison Ford in that one image looks like he's going to murder literally everyone who's going to come in front of him.
He's so surly. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is in that. She plays his goddaughter, Helena.
Yeah, I hope this is a passing of torch thing where she becomes the next Indiana Jones and has the franchise.
Oh, fucking make it happen.
I'm hoping it.
Yep. Everyone, is it Disney?
No, Paramount.
Damn it. Disney Plus, do you have any? No, I don't have anything to do with that one. It's just Paramount. Oh, okay, fuck. You're in a good mood today. Yeah, I got laid last night by another streaming service. Who was it?
James Cameron.
Me and Amazon. Me and what used to be Fox had a baby. What are we talking about? Amazon Prime, Paramount Network, or whoever the hell you are. Phoebe Waller-Bridge as Helena Jones. Make it happen. Okay, this is a two-pronged one. One is Quentin Tarantino has come out, like everybody has, and said that his main problem, talked about his main problem with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I feel like it's really fucking trendy to do this at the moment, and I'm not supporting Marvel 100%. Like I know that they have their problems and stuff like that, but I'm just like, can we get off this fucking subject? It's so tedious, and it breeds this clickbait nonsense. Like, this shouldn't be a story, and yet we're doing it. So yeah, he's just talking about how he used to like them, but that's all that gets made anymore, and how they're not movie stars, the characters are the stars, which is not really 100% true. You said that to me before.
Isn't that the fucking point, though? Like,
yeah.
Like, okay, what he's talking about is not true, but let's imagine that it is, right? Let's just imagine that the character is bigger than the actor. Isn't that what you fucking want? Like, when you have fucking Superman, you don't want to see, oh, Henry Cavill has a mustache. No!
I fucking wish. I wish. 1,000 sexually confused thoughts would get launched if Henry Cavill was Superman and a mustache, I tell you.
Or like a full fucking beard mustache.
Look, they cast Christopher Reeve back in the day because he was an unknown. They wanted to get Paul Newman and fucking, who was it, Robert Redford and James Caan. Like, what are you talking about? They're so recognisable. You've got to do that. But, Chris Evans was popular back then. Chris Hemsworth absolutely wasn't. He was still this Australian kid. It built their stardom, these movies. So it's a kind of a moot point. But Tarantino saying, and Scorsese saying it, like, they have caveat because of their level of
their status,
filmmaking prowess, and the prestigious. And the one that that kind of made this stick out to me, this part of the story, is it Simu Liu, the guy from Shang-Chi, right? So he's come out and said that and said this: if the only gatekeepers for movie stardom came from Tarantino and Scorsese, I would have never had the opportunity to lead a $400 million plus movie. I'm in awe of their filmmaking genius. They are transcendent auteurs, but they don't get to point their nose down at me or anyone. No movie studio is or ever will be perfect, but I'm proud to work in one that has made a sustained effort to improve diversity on screen by creating heroes that empower and inspire people in the communities everywhere. I love the Golden Age too, but it's white as hell, end quote. He's not wrong, but he is... I don't know if he's... what's going on with him, but you don't attack Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino on diversity. You just don't. They are two white, straight men as far as I understand, but if you look at the history of their films, they are some of the most inclusive movies made in the Hollywood system. Particularly Tarantino in the last few years. He has had, movies that featured, an almost all female protagonist cast in Death Proof. He's always had African Americans. He's always had women of power. Jackie Brown is headed by a woman of color. He's never had any sort of negative stuff in his movies towards people of other genders or other sexual orientations. And Marty's the same. All of his movies are about, the majorities, people on the margins, whether they're white or not. I understand the point that the character, the gentleman who plays Shang-Chi is making, but they're not the people you go after.
Sure.
And Marvel doesn't have a great track record for diversity. They do now, but pre-Endgame...
Phase 3, yeah.
Not at all. They didn't even get a female-led picture because they felt like they didn't have an aggregate until they were like, oh, hang on, we've got Black Widow hiding around. Isn't she dead? Oh, fuck it, let's just bring her back. That kind of thing. And now you've got things like Shang-Chi, you've got the Eternals, you've got She-Hulk. They understand there's a bigger conversation going on here, but don't talk about these guys... this filmmaking, specifically Marty Scorsese. He's been making movies longer than this guy's been alive. So maybe just shut up and make your pictures and understand that this conversation is only used to feed the news cycle. There is no value to this at all. And that goes for what Marty and Tarantino are saying as well. And journalists, stop baiting these guys. Stop asking that question. It's fucking old. Ask them interesting questions about their craft, things that people can learn from, not this fucking divisive shit where you're either Marvel or you're not. There's no camps here. This is filmmaking, and there's all different pockets to that, and everybody just get back to what this is. It's the Oscars slap. It's everything that isn't about making movies and everything that is about making news.
News. In quotes.
Yeah, news in end quotes, yeah. No, it's about people getting likes on Instagram or whatever. So, sorry about that rant, everyone. It's just really been bugging me because I understand both sides of the argument, and both sides of the argument have made their point feverishly and fervently multiple times. Just give it up. Let's move on to whatever's next. Hey, something the fuck else, please.
Yeah, I know, both of us are tired of talking about it as well. Because we talked about it at length in our first episode, and we're still here.
I know, and we're film journalists. We've got to do it. But no, I wanted to mention it to voice that kind of thought. Not that my opinion is going to change or anything. I had to get it off my chest. And just before we move on to the Black Adam of it all, you can't leave us pause that long between black and something, honestly. But I was just thinking, I nearly said Panther was why I nearly said Black Panther. So before we go into that, just briefly, last week, the entertainment industry lost an absolute legend. Kevin Conroy, supremely famous as the voice of Batman in the animated series from the 90s, a bunch of the movies, also the video games, and a wonderful actor and outside of Batman as well, passed away tragically, very, very young. the outpour of love for him was both beautiful and gut-wrenching at the same time. Like, he really touched so many lives. There would not be an instance in my life where I pick up and read a Batman comic and don't hear Kevin Conroy's voice. That we talked about it on our animation episode. That show is formative. It changed the way that people made animated shows, and the storytelling, and his voice was just remarkable. And he was also a great voice for the gay community, for the LGBTQ plus community. When he started in Hollywood, he had a hard time with that and was able to find some strength there. And through playing Batman, even he was able to find that. So yeah, real tragic loss. I shed a tear that day. That's for sure. Is he your Batman?
No, he's not my Batman. Sorry.
Okay, Addie's leaving the podcast. Everyone say goodbye.
Bye.
No, it's Ben Affleck, I know. But, I mean, you got to represent for the legacy of this dude.
Of course. Like, he wasn't my Batman, but I've seen that show, and there's no like, underestimating how impactful that show is to a lot of people and how impactful it is to just the animation industry itself.
Oh yeah, it broke the mold, man. They animated on black paper, so that they didn't. There was no after affecting that. It was all done like the backgrounds and stuff was animated on graphite paper. Just incredible. And his voice is also synonymous with the Arkham games, which were fucking enormous, like really huge. I'm not good at video games. I don't video game because I suck at them. I once played Grand Theft Auto for 2 hours doing nothing, just driving around, and got chased by the police. Finally got away from them after swimming for 20 minutes, and then got eaten by a fucking mountain lion. Like, what? That was when I knew it wasn't for me. But even I knew about the popularity of those games and how huge they were. So yeah, Kevin, we'll see you on the other side, mate. Save us a seat at the big cinema in the sky.
Absolutely.
Bit of a downer. Sorry, everyone.
No, that's all right. It's good to pay tribute to the people that you love.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I say also he passed away last week, by the time you're hearing this, it'll be a couple of weeks from when he passed away. So no disrespect intended. One more news story before we go. We skipped over it by accident, but we'll come back. Silk, Spider Society, is a TV show that will kick off a slate of Marvel Sony live-action series at Amazon. Addie, I didn't read the rest of the article. You had some feelings on the day. Tell me what's up with this.
Oh, you know exactly what my feelings are on the day.
Yeah, but I'm not. It's not just me and you, man. We've got fans now. We've got people who want to know.
Well, I'm not going to go into detail, but yeah, I fucking love Silk, and there's a lot of chatter on the internet about, especially men going, "Who wanted this?" And I was like, "I fucking did." All right, this is my win. Shut the fuck up.
Uh-oh, Addie just exploded.
Yeah, because man, fucking hell, man. Silk, she's gonna kick off like a ton of shows that's gonna be inside the Spider Society, and Spider Society is basically like, it's a club of spider people from.
You don't say.
Yeah. Because there's Spider-Woman, there's Silk, there's Spider-Gwen.
Cotton, polyester. That's right. Fabric jokes, everyone. Is that what you came here for? Welcome to the Fabric Addicts podcast.
I fucking knew it.
You knew I was going to make that joke. We've been doing this for a long time, buddy. Hey, you know what's funny, actually? Sorry to cut you off. Just one thing really quickly. It's a year ago today that we did the first. I wrote anyway and sent to you the first Hawkeye review.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
That fucking cool? Year ago today, and I only know that because I keep a diary and I read it back. Anyway, Spider Society. Tell me the things. So they're going to do a whole bunch.
Yeah, I think they're going to kick off with just a few of them, but starting with Silk is an amazing, amazing way to start. because it's such a rich character, and it's such like there's so much representation there, and then there's so much of just struggle of that character, of then that character becoming the most strongest emotionally and physically compared to any other spider person. People with spider powers. What the fuck are we saying?
Spider folks, I get you.
Yeah, and I'm truly excited for that, because it's a character that I've been wanting to see for a very long time, and the reason why it's on Amazon is because it's everything related to Spider-Man. So if a character is connected to Spider-Man in any way, it's owned by Sony.
Yeah.
And this is a collaboration between Sony and Marvel. So they can't put it on Disney Plus because that's solely everything that Disney owns. And Sony does not have a streaming service, so they're gonna dump it all out on Amazon.
It's only a matter of time. Everybody else has got a streaming service at this point, so I'm sure they'll get one.
Yeah, like James Cameron.
Call it the Morbius streaming service. Yeah, James Cameron. Like, I understand he's an incredible filmmaker, and revolutionary technician, and a wonderful human being as far as caring about the planet as well. He's an environmentalist, absolutely. Can we just stop talking about Avatar for 5 minutes and let it come out before you tell us, oh, if it sucks and it doesn't make any money, then I'm not going to do the other ones? Well, just wait a second and see what's going on. But then again, I can't really blame him. It's this fucking news cycle that we talk about. People need headlines every other second. You just take an offhanded comment, and it becomes... It's not like he tweeted that or whatever, or you can't tweet anymore. That's all happened as well recently. I don't know what's going on.
I don't want to go into that.
People keep making jokes about it. I'm like, I don't understand, because I couldn't fucking care less.
Same.
But yeah, just like, James, we believe in you. We support you. The last one did great. You're gonna do fine, buddy. You're gonna be making blue people movies until you hit the grave. Don't stress.
That won't be that long if this
that's cold-blooded. He's a vegan. He's very healthy. He'll look after himself. I mean, he'll probably drown or something trying to make one of these movies.
You didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry. Go.
I said that won't be long if this one is a success, because then he'll just be making blue people movies for the rest of his life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not fucking killing him, man.
So the Spider-Man, it's happening. It's the Spider Society, and we love it. We're happy for it. Yes?
We love it. I hope, like, the best way to start it off would have been Miles Morales, but I get that Sony's still doing their Into the Spider-Verse thing, and they don't want to disturb that, and I respect that immensely, because so much of Miles' story is Peter's legacy, and if you have that connection with Peter in the Into the Spider-Verse film, I don't think there's a way you can make something that can ever be on the level of that.
Okay.
So it's a good way of introducing characters that might pop up somewhere in like 30 years' time.
Yeah. Well, I won't be here probably, so that's...
You will be. Fuck you, man. You will be.
In 30 years?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'll be 70.
We'll be interviewing James Cameron for Avatar 15.
Yeah, just his head in a jar, like animated using fucking some sort of thing that he's developed. It'll be a Futurama joke at that point. Are you kidding me? Hang on, if I'm 70, that means that he would be like 120. Well, no, he's not 80. He's like 10 years older than me, or 20 years older than me. He'd be 60-something probably. I don't know. I'll give him a call and ask him. Anyway, regardless of all that, we're talking about the Black Adams. It's a movie that's come out, and you've probably seen it. We waited a little bit to talk about it, just so that we can talk about some of the things that go on in it. It's directed by, I think it's Jamie Colette Serra. I'm sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. Really, really well put together, if nothing else. Really well directed picture. And it stars Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. He's the only star in the film.
And that's it.
Then
He
that's
plays
it.
all the roles. Can you imagine? Black Adam, one-man show with Pierce Brosnan. I love it. Fuck, he's great in this. It's so good to see him in something big like this again.
It's a stage play.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, he just changes helmets occasionally. So let's I don't know. The really bad thing would be like if he went to play The Rock and did blackface, and everyone was like, hey, "No, cancel city. Sorry, we don't do that anymore. It's 2022, Pierce." And he's like, "Damn." But anyway, that's my very poor Pierce Brosnan. Let's talk about it just on an enjoyment level. How did you feel about this film?
I felt so entertained and like it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Like I can't remember the last time I had so much fun in a superhero film.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. And you've seen it twice. You did the IMAX number, didn't you?
Yeah, I did the IMAX number. I took my brother to it without him knowing.
Jesus, did you get whiplash from people flying around in your head going like that?
What?
I went and saw Iron Man 2 at IMAX and I came out with a sore fucking neck because the screen's so long. Like I had to like follow him like a tennis match, but really fast, and it was a lot.
Okay. See, I didn't get that. Like the voice that you made was like a bee going by.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I nearly said the Flash. Then fucking hell, Black Adam's like flying across the screen, and you've got to follow him. You know what I mean? It's tough. But forget.
Yeah.
I mean, tangent the podcast. You really enjoyed it though. What was it? What was it specifically? Is it just that it was a good time? Can you pinpoint something specifically? It was like, okay, yeah, this is when I know you knew you were loving it.
When the JSA showed up.
Yeah, it was pretty baller.
I mean, like, sure, the Avengers are great. Justice League's amazing. Yeah, it's just, you see Hawkman with his fucking wings out and a mace, so I'm gonna fucking cheer.
Yeah, it did look, the design of all of it, honestly, it kind of leaned into that high contrast amber look that is so popular, in fact, that there are presets for it in editing systems to do a color grade. But I dig it, like the and it kind of fits with the theme of what it is and where the story begins as well. I must say, though, we're not going to talk about it chronologically or anything. We're just going to jump in where we think. I must say, I picked the switch where it's at the start. It's the dad is actually...
Oh, absolutely. The fucking trailer starts with my son was murdered. Like, that was their whole twist, and it was in the trailer.
Yeah. But not showing the dad, I was like, oh, well, that's clearly The Rock malnourished. His head on a normal body is fucking weird, man. It is bizarre. It's really strange. I'm not here for it. It was like seeing my mum, like my mum's head on my dad's body. It's like both of those things are familiar, but not as a combination. What are you talking about, Reeves? I'm not 100% sure. It was fucking bloody odd and weird because he's never looked like that. Even when he was a teenager and he showed those pictures of himself standing there with a fanny pack or whatever, he's always been big. He's never looked like an Egyptian slave or a Kandaharian slave. It's not Kandahar. What's the place?
Kandak.
Kandakian.
Let's just not.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like it was peculiar.
Yeah.
So the Justice Society turns up.
Yeah.
And that's when you were like, okay, I'm on board.
Yeah, like Amanda Waller talking to Hawkman, and then Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, which was the only reason why I went. And
I've got to be honest with you, I wasn't even going to do it at the cinema. You said to me, we've got to do Black Adam so we can talk about it. I'm like, I don't have time for one, and I'm not really that interested. And then, like Emily's away at the moment, so I was just like, I got nothing to do. I need to get out of the house, otherwise I'm just going to keep working. So yeah, went and peeped it, and that was what I had in my head. Pierce is in it, and I might as well give it a punt. He's really good too. Everyone's just like, oh well, it's Doctor Strange. Like,
it's not.
It's not even visually like that. When you get to the movie, they showed a couple of things in the trailer that had
multiple
that kind of idea, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah, and like the people who know DC will know that it's not Doctor Strange. And that's what I love about just the Justice Society being there. Because like even the fucking Rock said that like this is the first superhero team to ever exist, and it's an honor to see them on screen. It's an honor to see Pierce Brosnan, this amazing actor, play this character, which is so rich, and like it's the chemistry between Dr. Fate and Hawkman is something that I've been wanting for a really long time in a superhero film, and it's not something that's like revolutionary or anything, but it's something that like if there's a flashback film or anything, you like those two actors are gonna be so great together because like those characters are amazing together. What the fuck am I saying? Did that make sense? Like even a part of it?
I'm following you.
I'm sorry.
The thing that I do, we'll get off because it's not the Dr. Fate movie, but the thing I will say about Dr. Fate that I wish they'd done was I've just finished reading Infinite Crisis, like the big omnibus, and there's a bunch of stuff in there with Dr. Fate, and it makes it very, very clear that he himself, as a person, a human being, and the helmet are two different personalities. There's Naboo and him. I can't remember the character's name. But I would have liked to have seen more of that, kind of the how do you contend with a thousands of year old force of will and still maintain humanity. There was some of that going in there because he can see the future, and it was him wrestling with that. But I would have liked to have seen it as more of like a dichotomy of like this power is something that I don't necessarily wield. It is something that is forced upon me.
Yeah,
which is kind of what Shazam is.
True. It's kind of what Black Adam is as well.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to say Black Adam, not Shazam. I got my Shazams mixed up. You know, you do that sometimes.
Yeah,
got my Shazams mixed up. He is like reluctantly becomes this. The whole thing is I'm not a savior. I was never the savior.
I'm not a hero.
Yeah, I'm not a hero. I got these powers so I could lay waste to the people who harmed him. What did you think of The Rock in this?
Well, okay, so The Rock is not Tony Stark. Fuck no, The Rock is not Robert Downey Jr. We all know that, right?
In terms of his acting prowess,
yes. But I think he fits the role of when you pitch Black Adam and you pitch Black Adam in this film as an anti-hero who's a protector, not a hero at all. I think he very well fits that. Because, his facial expressions don't change for like 80% of the film. But you... What?
I think this is a funny way to put it. The guy is featureless. It's weird. If you took those eyebrows away, he'd look like a thumb.
He still looks like a thumb. Just seen from the other side.
Looks like a thumb with eyebrows. Seen from the other side. At the back. Oh my god, is that a giant thumb? Oh no, it's The Rock. I don't know why I'm surprised. I'm at a wrestling match.
But yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying he's never going to be... Like, I think he commits, if nothing else.
Absolutely.
He really does care about what he does.
And that's the driving force of this film. But I have to say, the music in this film is fucking amazing. Like the themes for Death Adam and the JSA. Oh my god.
Lorne Balfe is outstanding. He is in line to be the next Hans Zimmer. I don't know, some people don't like Hans Zimmer, but you can't deny his
What the fuck are you doing if you don't like Hans Zimmer? Like,
I was talking to a friend the other day, and there was they had something here in Melbourne where it was like live versions of Hans Zimmer score, and you sort of sit in this place, and it's just candlelit, and you sit there and just listen to these people play Hans Zimmer music. And they invited me, and I couldn't go because I was in Sydney. And they said they tried to invite someone else, and that person just literally sent back a text message that said "fuck Hans Zimmer." I was like, Jesus, that's aggressive. What did he do to you? What are you talking about? He's the Zim.
Yeah.
He's the Zimmer.
Like, who hurt you so much that you have to hate Hans Zimmer?
I know. Like, what happened? Did someone torture you while you were listening to the score from Lion King? Like, I don't know.
You can never be tortured listening to the Lion King score. Never.
No, someone's torturing you while they do, like, you
okay.
You know, and then the music happens. I was going to hum a bit of it, and I don't know any. Yeah, Lorne Belfi is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of the introduction of the fuck is his name? Sorry.
I don't know.
Adam Smasher. Fuck.
Yeah, he's okay. I mean, it's the same as any picture. It reminded me more than anything of an X-Men picture. Where there's no real preamble. It's just like, here's some dudes. You know, the X-Men movies, it's like X2, Colossus is just one of them. You know, or X-Men 3, it's just Colossus is just one. You don't know anything about him apart from the fact that he used to be a student there. Like, you don't really know anything about Adam Smasher apart from his Henry Winkler is his uncle, and he inherited the powers from him. You know, because traditionally the Adam Smasher was a, you know, World War II era.
Yep.
So Justice Society is all World War II era, and that's kind of it. And that he's got to prove himself, and that's it. You know, that's all you really get. You know. And that's totally fine. I dug the young man who was playing him. He had some good kind of gas to his speech. He had some punchiness. He's young and still learning to be a hero, which I dug a lot. He's always eating, which is hilarious because
I love that.
Would absolutely be the case. Yeah, you drive big and small and stuff. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I will just say one thing. We'll just go back to The Rock really quickly. He's like, you know how rappers are like. My friend Hugo said it. He's a hip hop artist, and he's like, I'm not as good as the big guys. And I was always like, why? What are you talking about? You're amazing. And he said, yeah, but I don't rap about how good I am at rapping, which is what rappers do. And they've always got a hype man. So there's the rapper who's doing the lines and stuff, and then there's a guy going behind him going, yeah, what? You know, another one, like that kind of dude, and he's just someone backing up the actual rapper. You know, there's a guy behind Busta Rhymes going, ugh, you know, everything. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is his own hype man,
and I love that.
He can talk up a movie so hard. He doesn't need diddly dick. Like, he did so much work to get people to come and see this movie, and like I said it before about the because I said diddly dick. Is that why you're laughing? That means nothing. Very small amount.
Yeah, just imagine that on The Rock. That's why I'm laughing.
No, we can't. Well, I mean, I know there's some stuff about The Rock that we don't know, and there's sometimes I'm not saying that he definitely is, but sometimes chemical enhancements make that happen to certain parts of your body, and I don't know if he is, but. If he was...
He doesn't need one.
He might be hung like a chickpea. That's all I'm saying. And the marketing campaign for this was, like I said before, it's so aggressive. It was on every billboard. It was on every bus. It was on every channel. Every time you watched a YouTube clip, it came up. It was on the back of every single DC comic that I bought throughout, you know, September and October. Absolutely. They pushed the shit out of it. And he's the one doing it. He's working hard because he really... I do believe this is a passion project. I don't think he's just looking at... I mean, he would have got paid a lot of money, but I don't think he's just looking at the paycheck and going, that was worth it. I think he really did want to do it, and I think he wanted to do it because the character is, you know, is a minority. It's someone who was enslaved. It's someone who rose to power, you know, through themselves. You know, he was gifted power, but, you know, found the truth in that power in himself. It is a really strong story for him. And to be centered around a bunch of other heroes who kind of have that as well, you know, in the Justice Society, And you fully expect them to fight and everything. But I mean, Hawkman's traditionally a white character, even though he is reincarnated over and over again. But traditionally, it's a white person. I don't know about. Is it Tornado? Cyclone?
No, Cyclone.
Cyclone. I've never heard of that character before.
Yeah. I haven't either, but I loved her as the character. And the actor who plays that character, I love them as well. Like, they fucking nailed that. Like, on first watch, I was kind of just in awe with Pierce Brosnan and Hawkman being there, and then the end credit scene happens. But the second time around, I actually really liked the chemistry between the JSA, because, like, yes, there's characters they're picked out of from different time, but there's a camaraderie there, and there's a sense of trust there that even Dr. Fate said that this is your time to shine, like, now this is your chance to prove yourself. And I love that. I love that he's the one who says that now this is your time to prove yourself.
It's so X-Men. Like,
I
he's
know.
absolutely, like, even the huge ship that kind of looks like the Blackbird comes out of the basketball court. Fucking hell,
Yeah.
man. It's just, yeah, their chemistry works really well. And Pierce is absolutely the avuncular Charles Xavier surrogate for these two youthful people with powers.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. I wonder if Marvel's watching that going,
We fucked up.
me? We got a fucking lawsuit here or what? Can we do something about this? That's our plane.
Yeah, I just want to go back to the marketing campaign, because I have actual chats with the Black Adam film account.
Hang on, wait, can you repeat that? You have actual chats with the Black Adam film account.
Yeah, so like the actual account, it has a check mark.
Who is it?
I don't know. It's probably The Rock, man.
It'd be funny if it was. He's just sitting at home going, "Yeah, Eddie, I'm the Rock," and no, I'm doing Sylvester Stallone there. I can't do it. I don't have a Rock voice in me, unfortunately.
I can only do one Sylvester Stallone impersonation.
Oh yeah,
Ready?
Adrian. Mm-hmm.
Hand.
His finest role. His finest role to date.
Yep.
Amazing. Outrageous. No, I don't have a Rock, but so you're having conversations. So let's get back to this. You're having conversations with the promotional Instagram page for the Black Adam. What are they saying? Is it beep boop boop beep beep bot or
Kind of. It's this what it sounds like. But they were the one who texted me first. Like,
that sounds sus as fuck.
I
man.
know.
That is a 64-year-old, obese pedophile. Like,
no, it's not. No, it's fucking no. It has a check mark, dude.
What does that mean?
It means that it's verified. It's not fucking Twitter. It's on Instagram.
207K. 207,000 people.
They're just like, they're sending promotional material with like the posters and everything.
Oh, okay. So did you hashtag Black Adam in a post or something?
Absolutely not. That's the thing. And like the first message says, "Film Addict reviews. I am not the hero you're looking for yet. I am your..."
And then a dick pic.
That's it. That's done.
That's the end of the show. It's just like, "I'm not the hero you're looking for," and then a huge cock, but with the Rock's face like photoshopped onto the tip. Whatever, it's the internet. Okay, I'm sorry. I knocked my microphone, sorry. Okay. I so wish that's what it was. Oh, I'm not the hero you're looking for, fucking ball sack. Okay. So you were talking about the marketing campaign. Oh man, cackling like the fucking Joker. Oh god. I'm gonna have to cut some of this out. Oh, I can't help myself. A ball sack with a lightning strike on it tattooed.
Oh, my god.
Okay. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast.
It's the tip of the penis with the rock's head on it, but it speaks.
Oh, no.
And when you ask it about the tattoo of the lightning bolt, he said, me and Kevin Hart were drunk. That's just why that happened.
You gotta be real drunk. I've never been that drunk. Even in my drinking days, I was never drunk enough to get my fucking balls tattooed with anything. Okay, so back to the marketing campaign. You were. So
We're not
you have
going
this
back there.
conversation.
That's gone.
That's done, is it?
It's in the ether now. It's gone.
Yeah. Well, just the fact that they have a marketing campaign that targets people, that in their algorithm that would be show interest because you clearly have interest in film and pop culture and comics. It found you.
Yeah.
That says a lot about the World Wide Web. I'm exhausted now. Can't have a lie down. I'm not
Did you say World Wide Web or did you say World Wide Web? Because I heard
World Wide Web.
Right.
That's what WWW used to stand for before we stopped doing that. So just like thinking about this movie and how it fits in with other DC properties, it's kind of one of the only ones that, although being autonomous, it kind of sits on its own. It also pulls heavily from what we understand as being Zack's Justice League universe, which is interesting. Even tonally, it kind of has that feel. There was some, Black Adam murders people. He just does. That's what's up. It's part of the appeal, I guess. He's Superman without the conscience. And again, we talked about it last week with the end. Henry Cavill makes an appearance. He has a cameo at the end as Superman. Do you feel like with James Gunn and the other dude taking over as the DC kind of creative heads, that maybe they're thinking that this is the direction to go, to kind of adopt some of that stuff that Zack kind of gave us, but also make it something new the way that Black Adam is and charge towards whatever the future is?
I do think so. But I think that James Gunn does know the audience really well. So he might cherry pick a few things that work and then make something incredible out of those things. And I have full faith in DC now. Not like I didn't. It's just the last few years DC has broken my heart. It's why I wrote Goodbye DC. But I'm back on the train, man. Like, I don't know what it was about this film, but I'm back on the train. This probably has to do with the giant S that happened at the end.
Yeah, it's hard to deny. But even if that wasn't there, it's, you still would have had a good time.
Absolutely.
You kind of knew it was coming, but kind of didn't. I mean, The Rock wasn't very good at, shutting up about that. Is it when Tom Holland was ruining every movie that he was in? And everyone was like, shut the fuck up, man, you fucking little shit heap, like you little pommy shit heap. And no one says shit. Yep, no. Go, The Rock. I wonder if you have to call him The Rock.
No, like every interview I've seen him, they call him Dwayne.
They call him Dwayne. Yeah, he's not The Rock anymore, is he?
He is.
But he's never billed as Dwayne The Rock Johnson anymore.
True.
Like on the marquee, on the poster, it doesn't say Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It says Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, because he's an actor.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, if I met him, I would immediately call him The Rock because that's what I remember him as. As far as like I said, the future goes, had this movie come out at a different time, what do you think the response would have been? Because this is, we were just talking about it then, the everyone talking about, Marvel fatigue. There was even an article that said, Marvel fatigue is up 50%, people say, and fucking bloody blah. I don't cite my sources because I'm not Woodward and Bernstein, you bunch of fucking shit heaps. But there is an oversaturation in the marketplace. There's absolutely no denying it. Had this movie come out 5 years ago, like pre-COVID, do you think it does better? Because there was that thing that came out, was like, it made such and such amount of money, and then Black Panther 2 came out and everyone was like, it made so much more money.
Well, here's the thing. You can't compare the two, because Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, was always going to make more money than Black Adam. That was just the case.
Yeah.
Because of the things in the film and because of the things that happened that impacted the film.
Sure.
And those are two very, very different kind of movies.
No, I'm just saying if it had of... I agree with you, and I agree with what The Rock said. He's like, we're just starting. We've only just started. Like that has a foundation in dozens of movies. I'm just asking if it wasn't brought out now, not right next to Black Panther, and not like during COVID or whatever. You know how like the Suicide Squad came out in COVID?
Yeah.
It's before all that. So before any of that stuff, even before the Birds of Prey picture, like
right.
it's just after, let's say, whatever version of Justice League you want, whether it ends up being the one that we got at the cinema, so the Joss Whedon version. It comes out after that. Do you think it does better, or are we in a place where it's sort of better now?
That's an interesting question. I don't know if it would work after the Joss Whedon cut, because there was so much stuff just surrounding all of that it even impacted Birds of Prey, and that people didn't go watch that film. And that's one of the best DC films that they've done.
Is the best, in my opinion. I love that film.
And if it comes out after, I think if it did come out, I'm sorry, my English is fucked today, man.
It's better than mine.
It's better than
mine on the regular.
If it did come out in like, let's say 2019 after Endgame, right? I think Black Adam then becomes the TASM, the Amazing Spider-Man of the whole franchise, where people don't really like it that much, and then over time people start enjoying it more.
Those films benefit from the saturation though. Like, people look back and go, oh, it's kind of good to have something that sits on its own and it isn't part of this huger universe. I think if you bring Black Adam out as the film that follows Man of Steel, it might be too big. There might be too much going on. But it certainly would make that cameo work better, because then you could have Man of Steel 2 that isn't Batman versus Superman, which is probably a good move to start with. To build that and then have Shazam be a bigger villain. But that's just me. That's just me. That's what I'm thinking.
So we are going to talk about Superman showing up. But before we do that, I do want to point out something that I found very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Where, Black Adam, the film, takes place in a day and a half, if I'm not wrong.
Is that right? Okay, I wasn't clocking it chronologically, but it's pretty. It kind of felt like a movie game level, like a movie game. Fuck,
video game.
A video game level, in that respect, yeah.
Yeah, and I love Kondak, and I love that. I love what he does for Kondak, because that's his home and he protects it. Like, he doesn't want to rule it or anything, and it shows. It kind of shows what the boys would be if it was actually in the DC universe, because Amanda Waller is controlling the superhero team, and this country where now they have a superhero, they want to intervene, where before that the country was oppressed and has been under so much trauma these past few years, and as soon as something that sparks their interest, that's kind of, that can maybe someday become a threat to them. Now they want to like come in and kind of save the day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's intentional, and I'm probably reading a lot into it, but I love that's the route they went with. That like, he's not a hero to everyone, but he's a hero to his people, and that's all that matters to him.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of mentality does breed dictatorships. Obviously not in this case because he's a superhero, but yeah, the comment that US global relations are often populated by the US having panic attacks about what's going to go on outside of it could be the Cuban Missile Crisis, it could be Vietnam, it could be absolutely Iraq 1 and 2 and Afghanistan. Whenever there is turmoil, or whenever there is something that affects things on a global stage, you see it now, what's going on with Russia and Ukraine as well. There is always intervention because they're the superpower, but it is the people who suffer. It's a great Captain America line from Age of Ultron. Every time someone tries to win a war before it starts, innocent people die, and that's absolutely true. There's that great scene where she's the lead female. I can't remember the character's name. Sorry. She's the mother of the young boy, the freedom fighter, and she's talking to them, and she's like, "Oh, so you're gonna come in now and do this? We're all good. We don't need a bunch of white heroes. Not that they're all white, but a bunch of milquetoast heroes coming in and saving the day. We've got our own person." I think that's a sentiment that anybody could probably understand.
Yeah, absolutely, and I love that kid as well. Like,
yeah, he's pretty great.
Yeah, like a lot of the characters are like, they're almost cardboard cutouts, but they're not, and that's what makes it amazing. Yeah. Because they should like The Rock in one of the interviews said that like Black Adam is his like, it's his dream project, and everything he's learned from the WWE is what has impacted this film to even come out. And he's listened to the fans a lot. And I think this film is made by a fan for the fans. It doesn't have to have the implications of a bigger universe. It doesn't have to set up anything else. It just is. And it's fun, and if there's the depth that you can find in their characters that you can love, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why it kind of worked for me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like you don't have to even justify it. If it speaks to you, it speaks to you. But let's talk about quickly before we move on to our favorite moments. The Superman of it all. I mean, Henry Cavill is getting a lot of traction on social media at the moment. A bunch of old clips are turning up from different sources and showing just how much of a decent human being he is, if nothing else. And all bolstered by this return of Superman. Obviously, it's not going to happen for a little while. There's also been some stuff in the media lately about how it's been put on the back burner while James Gunn figures his shit out. Of course, he can't see the fan reaction and not at least gear towards that at some point to a Man of Steel 2 or whatever you want to call it.
Of course.
I'm excited about it. I really like Henry Cavill. I think he's actually a really good actor. He just hasn't had the opportunity to do this Superman. We talked about it briefly last week. How do you feel about the future of what's going to happen now? I know the moment must have struck you, but what is it? What is this? The hope that you now have, what does that lead into?
I think it leads into joy out of everything else.
Yep.
Like, and it's fucked me up because now I can't lose hope for anything because I don't know, me and Leanne were talking about something and I was like, don't give me hope, and she was like, you can't say that now. Like, you didn't give up hope on Superman and he returned. Like, you have no right to say that to anything now. I was like, yeah, fuck.
Yeah, if anything, you're a fucking wizard and you should be burned at the stake.
Ouch.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, they used to do that to all them witches.
Well, okay, first of all, fuck you for bringing that up, because now I'm going to... No, because now I'm going to tell you to watch Castlevania again. So you did that to yourself.
Damn, I keep forgetting about it every time you mention it. It's like it's that thing, the elusive. What you leave the house and you're like, did I leave the fucking oven on or something? I can't remember what it is. Every single day I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing today? Watch Castlevania and shit. Yeah, well, okay, hope and joy, but what do you want the film to be? Like, so Man of Steel 2, he said that it's going to be a more joyful, a more Superman story, excess on the super. What we got? We got Brainiac. We bringing back fucking Jesse Eisenberg, bald as the day is long, or what are we doing?
I really do want Jesse Eisenberg back because I think just like Henry Cavill, I don't think he kind of got the right treatment of Lex Luthor. Like the Lex Luthor we saw is the Lex Luthor before he becomes the Lex Luthor that we know.
Absolutely.
And I think there's so much potential there. And it's the same way I feel. Like, I don't have a pitch for Man of Steel 2. And I'm kind of glad that I don't. Because then it would just crush me if it wasn't true.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I maybe we'll just leave it. What do you think, folks? What would you like to see in the upcoming Man of Steel 2 or whatever it's going to be called? They should just call it Superman : something. Honestly, like just everybody knows we're not idiots.
Like Superman: Rise of the Hope or something.
The Rise of Hope or something. Yeah, I can dig that. But look, Batman Begins and then they became Dark Knight this and Dark Knight that. We all get it. We all understand. It's the dude in the cape.
Wait, but before we move on though, what's your Man of Steel 2?
What's my pitch?
Yeah.
Brainiac.
Of course.
In some capacity, because he's such an unusual villain for Superman, because he can't be beaten by pure force. Like, he's intellectual. Like, he can throw all sorts of robots and shit at Superman, but he's still a superior intellect. Like, how does Superman beat someone he can't outthink as fast as he is? It also gives Superman the opportunity to, like, the one thing that we didn't get a chance to see is Superman's, like, skill set. All he did was really punch stuff hard and fly. Like, where's the Superman who freezes a lake and then lifts it over his head to, or uses half of a mountain to block a volcano? Like, I want to see him solving the same way that you see in the Son of Kal-El comic, where Jonathan Kent hasn't thrown a punch almost the entire series. He's stopping tsunamis and saving people from this and that, and like, I want to see Superman as the first responder. That kind of Superman, saving cats from trees and shit, and then he takes on someone who can outthink him at every turn. So yeah, just call it Superman : Brainiac, and we'll all get it.
Yeah, and I think having Brainiac as a villain against Superman could, like, the dialogue in those scenarios would be amazing. Like, it would be like that conversation about the ship of Theseus in WandaVision that both Visions have.
Yep.
But like, that's every conversation.
And you forget the Joker of it all. Take him out of the Batman, and the young guy who played the Joker, what's his name? The Irish kid. Barry
Keoghan.
Yeah, him. Forget the Joker. Get him in as Brainiac, but he plays it the way that he plays that creepy kid from Killing of a Sacred Deer. And if you haven't seen Killing of a Sacred Deer, the Yorgos Lanthimos film, fucking watch it. It's outstanding. It's the best supervillain movie since, supervillain origin movie since Unbreakable. It's outstanding.
Damn.
Check it out, man. It's really good. Yeah. So before we move on to question time, let's round up with sort of favorite moments from the Black Adams. We'll do 3 for 3. We'll go to sips.
Yep.
Like ascending order. So 3, 2, 1. What's your favorite number 3 moment?
This is gonna be weird, but it's the jet coming out of the basketball court.
No, that was gonna be mine as well. Like, I was
damn
like, oh fuck, this is what I'm looking for. It's like, some real comic book shit.
Yeah.
I know they're kind of cribbing from I don't know who what saw that and was like, oh yeah, no, that'll be fine. That's not at all like X-Men, but whatever. Yeah, that's my number 3 as well. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, we've done that before. We've had number 1s together at the same time.
That's very saying we've had number 1s together.
No, sorry. Weird. Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
Crossing the streams. All right. Well, then what's your number 2? And I'll see if it's my number 2. Sorry. Don't cross the streams.
I'm sorry.
Crossing the streams is bad.
I don't know. Depends on the person.
Well, no, in Ghostbusters it's bad. Depends on the person. That's absolutely true. Enjoy yourselves. But no, I was talking about Ghostbusters. Your number 2?
My number 2 is the Dr. Fate teaching Death Adam sarcasm.
Yeah, that is a good move, actually. Yeah, I do like that. I mean, Pierce is great in the whole thing. My number 2 is probably the sort of the rope-a-dope that they do at the checkpoint with the little kid and the skateboard and then the woman in the back and all that. Like, I kind of like that intrigue because you don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
All you know is that Karnak is an occupied territory, and who are these people? Are they just trying to get home? Are they freedom fighters? And this guy's so cool and casual about it. Like I didn't know what was happening, and it pulled me right in. And that's the beginning of the movie. Apart from that, the preamble, I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Number 1.
I mean, do I really have to say it?
Is it the soup dupe?
It's the soup dupe.
Soup dupe. Yeah, I mean, I got to agree as well. If it wasn't that, it probably would be the part where Black Adam pitches a guy into the fucking ocean. That was pretty dope. He just flings him into the ocean. It ain't no thing. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, to see Henry Cavill back. The one thing I will say about the Superman is, I feel like I'm talking 1,000 miles a minute today.
You're
it's because I just finished workout, like immediately it came into this, like I'm full of endorphins. The Superman thing. Can we forget this greasy hair business that started in Man of Steel? Started in BVS. In Man of Steel, his hair is coiffed. Like it's more like mine. Like he's got the spit curl and everything, but it's soft looking. It doesn't look like it's filled with product. Let's go back to that, please. This fucking this I expect him to fucking break out and have a dance battle with a bunch of the sharks,
Oh man.
When you're a shark, you're a shark. Sorry, that was a West Side Story joke.
Okay. I thought you like referencing to a comic where Superman has a dance battle with King Shark in the middle of the ocean and the Aquaman joins, and I was like, okay, cool.
All right. My pitch for Man of Steel 2 changed. That's now that. Forget everything I said. Fantastic. Well, that's Black Adam, everyone. I think it's still in cinemas. Go and check it out if you so please. Tell us what you think in the comments, please. It's always good to have some interaction. But before we finish for the day, do we have some questions?
We have some questions.
All right, so these questions, how many?
3 questions.
3. These questions, 3. That's. I always make that joke of these questions, however many, but in the fable, it is actually 3. Go ahead with these questions.
All right, question 1 is who should do a Man of Steel sequel?
As in the director.
Yep, I reckon fuck every.
Brad Bird.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, actually not Brad Bird.
I want an
That's
Edgar
so
Wright, dude.
Oh, yeah, okay, I could see that. My voice just went weird. Oh, yeah? Ooh. That's great. My fiance always tells me I have ridiculous range, but it's not for anything other than doing stupid voices. Like, I can't sing. It's like...
Yes, you can.
That'd be a good cartoon. No, I can fake pretend to sing.
That's still singing.
Like Harry... Yeah, well, maybe. Hang on one sec. Let me just find the director of this... It is. She directed Punisher Warzone. Lexi Alexandra It is a great director. She's done mostly TV. She directed Green Street Hooligans as well. She did some stuff on the Taken TV series. She directed a bunch of Arrow and Supergirl. She's great. She's got a great sense of action, great sense of pace and momentum. And honestly, let's get a bit of, not to ring the diversity bell, but why not? Like, what's stopping someone from, of a different gender than the typical white male directing a Superman picture? So that's my pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Before Edgar Wright, I was gonna say fuck everything and let Greta Gerwig do it. I was gonna say that, but then I remember that she's gonna be doing a Narnia series, so she won't be free.
Yeah, she'd be a bit busy. She'd be busy with Narnias coming in and out of the closets. That's
yeah.
That was not what I meant, but you know what I'm saying, everybody. We're friends now. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, what's the second one? Sorry.
So there's actually a two-parter by our guest that we had.
Leanne, what's up? What's up, homie?
Welcome back.
Yeah.
So question 1 is, what are your thoughts on those who are unfairly trashing this film?
Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't think anybody should trash anything. I was recently on another podcast, the Sequel Suck podcast. Thanks for having me on, guys. And one of the cats who's on there, Cavill, was saying that because we were talking about Halloween Ends, and he was saying that me and one of the other hosts, Michelle, hated the film. And after he finished and they asked my opinion, I was like, let me just make it perfectly clear. I don't hate anything. Hate is such a really strong word, and it is banded around a lot. I hate this film. Really? Did it come to you to where you live and burn your house down? Like, grow the fuck up. It's a movie. Don't watch it again. It's really easy. So yeah, I just think if you don't like it, that's totally cool. I can understand why you might not. But there's no reason to, get on the internet and you can get on the internet and review it, honestly, but you don't need to spout hateful speech about it. That's just ludicrous.
Yeah. I'd say the people who are unfairly judging and trashing this would be film bros. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, unfairly trashing it would be trashing it before it comes out.
Yeah.
And people do that all the time. People have already made up their minds about, a lot of stuff. Like the new Avatar movie. I know a lot of people are like, what the fuck? Why would I bother going to see that? I don't really want to go and see it either, but I have no interest because I didn't really appreciate the first one. But yeah, like to judge something before it has an opportunity to disappoint you is backwards ass concepts. I don't know.
Yeah. And the second part of that question is, what would you like to tell them?
I would ask them to explain themselves without using negative terms. So why didn't you like this? Give me reasons. Is it the cinematography? Is it the acting? Is it the story? Is it you felt it wasn't representative of the culture? Like, give me reasons. It's really easy for people to trash something and go, oh, it was shit. And then the person who likes it is the person who ends up having to defend themselves. That's backwards ass. If I say I like something and you go, oh no, I thought it was shit, the onus is on you to explain why it was shit. I'm the one being positive. So I would ask for an explanation. If it was an explanation that had succinct points, I would accept that explanation and move on. Or I would give them a hug and go, it's just Black Adam. Don't worry. It's not real. It's all fake. Little cuddles, and then I'd give them a frozen yogurt or something. Yeah. And the third.
No, that was it.
Was that the third one? Oh, okay, so it was a two-part. Right, okay, cool. Well, here we are. Nearly at the end. We're just going to take 5 minutes here to quickly do a new segment that we were going to do last week and we ran out of time. It's called, What Are You Pitching? No, that's... It's called something or other, We're Pitching a Movie. I don't know what... We haven't got a name for it or a piece of music. Johnny, I know you can hear me. What a fucking legend, man. Like, I can't praise him enough. He just drops bombs. He does just like, oh yeah, it's no worries. Piece of music for you. Ping. Like, this is all stuff from his album, his new album he's demoing. He's like, yeah, you can have it, sure. Like, just, what a champion. Anyway, enough Johnny suckage one more time. My dear friend Addy, in your dope-ass Nightwing t-shirt, what is your pitch for today? It's an elevator pitch, so it's got to be 90 seconds or less.
I can't do that.
Ah.
I would stop
Fuck myself.
in the elevator. That's not good.
Fuck me in the elevator. That's my favourite tab on Pornhub. Ridiculous. Okay, well, just give me your pitch then, but try and keep it a little succinct. With the people have got things to do. They got sandwiches to make.
Right. So let's pick up. Do you have a pitch? That's my question.
I do, yeah.
Nice, because I have one for DC and one for Disney, apparently.
Okay. I only have one for DC because I thought we were just doing DC. But you go. You do yours.
Yeah. So for DC.
DC one first.
Yeah. Let's pick up from Black Adam, right?
Okay.
Let's have Zatara be the next in kin to inherit the helmet. And then Zatanna freaks the fuck out, goes to Dick, tells him to assemble the Titans again because she doesn't know what to do with her father. Because he's been taken over this entity that's making him do things that he wouldn't like.
Amazing. Yeah, man. So it's a back alleyway. I didn't say back door there. You can't say that either. It's fucking filled with innuendo we don't mean today. It's a side street into getting to a Titans movie.
Okay.
And is it the Titans that currently exist? In the TV show?
Kind of, but also no. Like, okay. The characters, yes. The actors, no.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so we're going to do the thing that DC's been really good at, of having different pockets of stuff. There's TV and there's movie. Yeah, all right, cool. I'm a dig it. Make it happen. Who's directing it?
Oh, me. No shit.
Fucking baller, man. Yeah, that was some gangster shit, by the way. I was joking. You were like, oh no, you're me. Yeah, I'm going to direct the fucking shit out of it. I love it.
If I'm going to do it, you know who's going to be Nightwing. So...
Me.
You're gonna be fucking Batman.
I am 20 years too old. I'm too happy to be Batman. I would be Plastic Man or someone like that, Elongated Man before his wife got killed.
I didn't know
Elongated Man's wife got killed by Dr. Light in the comics.
So there's the Dr. Light. Okay.
There is, yeah. Horrible. It's a really good story though. Anyway, back to you pitching Disney. What do you got for Disney?
No, I'm still not done with DC.
Oh, okay, go.
Yeah. So that's part one of that could be like a 4-act or like a 4-film arc where they kind of help Zatanna, and then at the end of it, she accepts that her father is actually gone. But I really want to do that one scene where they're having Young Justice, where she takes off the helmet and puts it on herself. And it's her talking to her father, her father's spirit, and it's their last conversation as daughter and father, and they say all the things that they want to say to each other, and then he goes on and becomes Dr. Fate for the new JSA, and introduce like new characters, and that can also then lead into a Batgirl film, where we have Dick.
No, it can't.
It can. It can. I'll fucking make it, man. It can.
It's not going to happen.
What's your pitch?
And my pitch is a DC one as well. I'm just quickly looking it up here so I can get all the cast right. So this has always been a series. It's a series called Checkmate, and it's basically it's an espionage unit, kind of like DC's version of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a way.
Ooh.
And it's a really cool series. It was a grown-up series. It was a spy thriller kind of thing. And recently, in the last 18 months or so, there was a series that came out by Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Malvi and Dave Stewart. And it was just called Checkmate. And it was this awesome espionage thriller comic. It was weird. Nothing really happened in the comic, but the idea was pretty sound, and the cast of characters sort of under the banner of this clandestine operation is Lois Lane, with Green Arrow, The Question, who I fucking love, and I think this version of The Question might have been the Renee Montoya one, but I can't remember. Manhunter, Steve Trevor, and Mr. Bones, and there's also Superman pops into it as well. They've got a new leader called Mr. King, who's this immortal dude, and it's just this spy thriller with these legacy characters who we all know. You fucking make a series of that, an 8-episode series. Maybe I'm just in espionage space watching all the Jack Ryan show. Make it like that, and have, the first 2 episodes of something directed by Catherine Bigelow, and have the series itself. Catherine Bigelow, the director of Zero Dark 30, The Hurt Locker, Detroit, Point Break, Near Dark. Just wonderful, wonderful director. Academy Award winner. Just have her do the first couple episodes and then sort of cycle in and out different directors, and have the bulk of the series written by Brian Michael Bendis. That's my pitch, TC. Give me a ring. So what's your Disney one?
Oh, this is a bit weird for me because I'm gonna pitch a Star Wars show.
What? Okay, what's your Star Wars show called?
Yeah. For the people who don't know, because I haven't openly said it, but I watched the original trilogy and I watched Rogue One, which gave me power to fucking watch the original trilogy. And after the original trilogy, I found out that I really love the prequels.
Jesus, careful! You're about to, 1,000 nerds just sat up in their beds. Oh, someone's saying that the prequels are better than the OG. Oh, I'm going to get on the internet and fart. Or whatever they do, I don't know.
But yeah, have a series, like I haven't watched Andor yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I might, and it's going to have 2 seasons with 12 episodes each. So the first one just ended yesterday.
That's correct.
So, have a series based, have it start with the Order 66 going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And don't shy away from the violence. Fucking commit to it, right? Have a 12-episode series of this clone that malfunctioned, who found a Jedi, and both of them are on a space mission to save each and every Jedi pupil that they can.
Cool. And
you can have attachments to fucking whatever that goes on in the Star Wars universe. Have Ahsoka come in for a couple of episodes, and have Quinlan Voss, who's mentioned in the Kenobi series, but was also a part of. I think he was a Jedi spy in Clone Wars. And have some Clone Wars characters come in, and it would just be have a really make that show for the adults who were fans of that show when they were growing up, and now have how you did with Rogue One. It's a very, very adult take in a universe that usually has an happy ending. Happy ending.
Yeah, great, man.
Yeah,
I love it. And I think you'd really like Andor. I mean, I've only watched a little bit of it, but Johnny raves about it. He says it's the best thing to happen to Star Wars since the last Jedi. Digs it a lot. That sounds like a good show to me. I'd watch that shit.
Yeah, something really serious for the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. Well, check out Andor. That's a prequel to Rogue One, basically.
Yep.
Which sort of shows how he joins the rebellion. So, with those pitches finished and all pitched out, that's it. We're done. We're done for the day. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, as always. We really do appreciate it. We hope you had a good time. Remember to rate and review on Amazon Music and... Not Amazon Music, what are we on?
Yeah, we're on Amazon Music and Spotify.
Yeah. Amazon Music and Spotify and YouTube. Come check us out. It's always lovely to have you and join the conversation. Addy, lovely to see you, sir. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. We love doing it, and we'll be back next week. We're gonna do Black Panther, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, right.
This episode kind of fits perfectly with Black Adam coming out just a few days on HBO Max as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're getting a pretty quick release these days. Cool. All right. Well, we'll see you next time for maybe Wakanda Forever. Who knows? But until then,
Stay amazing, stay safe, and love yourself.